What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday morning. Here we are for the week ahead reading. Before we begin, I was just talking to some of you guys about this last night, so I wanted to show you this. We were talking about burning sage, and instead of getting the big sage, the white sage like stick things, I like to get these little baggies that just have the loose stuff in it. Or like if you do get one of the dang sticks of it, just break some pieces off, and then you can put them, you can take like a frickin', basically a tiny leaf, like, hold on, tiny leaf like something. Yeah. Like something like this. And you can just put it in one of these small little burner things. And then you can seal it back up, you know what I mean? So it's not just like sitting out and like getting all dried up, you know what I mean? And then you can just light it. So that's what we're fitting to do. This area that you are watching me do this in is like my actual like altar space. It's really small. I used to have a larger altar space that was my entire like dresser, but I needed that dresser for my television, so it's over there. So I purchased this like accent cabinet, and it's perfect for all my crap, and it's just big enough for me to do readings on. So all of this stuff right here, I keep this gratitude card here. This is from the Sacred Symbols deck, but I keep that there as like a reminder to myself, essentially. And then all of these items here have very specific special meanings. I've wanted to do like a quote-unquote altar tour, and just kind of show some of my special magical items and tools that I've created over the years, and what they do and why I use them the way that I use them. This selenite wand, for example, I like embroidery floss, friendship bracelet style, like tied this little handle on it years ago. But I don't really use it as a wand per se. It's kind of just a general like altar fixture that is a cleansing tool, essentially. And this painting right here is a painting that I made when I was in college, my first semester of college. It's a self-portrait. I just wanted to see if anybody was going to come in here before I start pulling cards, but if you can't catch this live, obviously you'll see it later, and I post these on YouTube also. So, what up, YouTube people? Just for later, a little shout out for them. Okay. Just let that do that. We're back at the altar this week. I went to a slightly different filming location last week, but that was kind of difficult because in that spot I had to like bend over the cards more, so it was a little bit harder to speak for long periods of time. Alrighty. So I've got all kind of decks to use today. I'm going to bust out some Lenormand, actually, and then we're going to do some bibliomancy on this Rumi book, which is a very special book for me. When I used to work at a cat cafe, this book just happened to be there. And when it was slow at the cat cafe, I would just grab this book and read it cover to cover, and then just put a bookmark in it and put it away when it got busy. And nobody else read this book but me. And then when the cat cafe closed during COVID times, the owner let me keep this book. And you can see little cat teeth marks. That's from the Cat Cafe. So I've used this as like a supplementary oracle, essentially, just bibliomancy, aka you just flip to a random page, plop your finger down, and like bam, that's your message. Just kind of like an intuitive thing. I like to add stuff into my readings like that sometimes. All right, so I'm just going to do tarot, and then I have 2 oracle decks and 1 Lenormand. And I haven't used Lenormand in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of brush up on it. So I have this deck, which I actually got this at McKay's. I'll show you the box. Yeah, so the Primal Lenormand. Yeah, reprint of the original cards from 1799. Yeah, so we're going to use that. I have 2 other Lenormand decks, but this one just kind of felt right at this time. This is a very, this one has, really positive energy compared to the other 2 that I have, which are a little more hardcore. And, kind of, the energy of them is a little bit more tough love. And I feel like after this week, we need a softer vibe. But we're still using Tarot of the Spirit. This has been really my main deck of choice recently. I really want to get some time to do some more studying about this deck. I have the book that goes with it, the large companion book. I just haven't had the I haven't been able to carve out a good time to really sit down and work with it. But it doesn't look like anybody's going to join us live, which is fine. You'll just see this later. But let's see what's going on for us this week. Well, that knocked over my freaking Jade Wolf. We'll see what happens. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. So, yeah, this is a feeling of, your hard work is paying off. Your, diligent effort is paying off. Your perseverance is paying off emotionally. You're feeling pretty satisfied at this time. So I feel like that's great energy moving forward. I mean, we're going to have this we're going to have this full moon on Monday. There's a lot of astrological stuff going on right now that's really intense. And this waxing moon has been really challenging for a lot of people. I was talking to a lot of you guys last night, and it seems like everybody has kind of been battling like a mini dark night of the soul. But the important thing to remember about that is that sometimes when you get into, and I have a podcast episode about this. I haven't been doing my podcast very much, but it's on Spotify. It's Guidance by Tova. I think one of the first 2 episodes is about how to get out of a rut, or how to get out of a slump, if you will. When you're in a depressive episode, essentially, what practical steps can you take to be able to get yourself out of that situation? Or to improve your state of being. And a lot of times we can't just will ourselves to feel better. We can't. And when you can't will yourself to feel better, what's happening is you're trying to work in the mental and emotional realms in a way that you can't, you don't have the foundation to start from. That's why in pretty much all ritual work, that one of the first things that you do is you cast a circle, right? You ground yourself, you cleanse your space. Those are all physical actions. So it's important to, check in with your body, make sure that you are, that all of your basic needs are being met, because sometimes that alone can totally shift, everything that goes basically, you know, up the chakra system. So, you know, focus on like getting your root chakra first. You know, that's what they tell you. So just a little bit of advice. I know it's really hard to remember, like if you're feeling kind of like bad or weird, but always come back to the root. Luke, what's up? I was just yammering on about the importance of taking care of one's physical needs before like trying to deal with like mental and emotional issues. But we got the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So yeah, this is energy about hard work paying off, diligent effort paying off in the week ahead, which we really need. All right, let's see what's going on for our column 2. This is taking a second, lol. There we go. Guess this is going to be a 2 cards per column sort of day. All right, 8 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. So we might feel inclined to... Okay, what I'm getting is that walking away, like figuratively, from some kind of an emotional... sunken cost fallacy type of like, you know, this isn't good for you. You know that this isn't a good, like, emotional pattern to be in, something like that. Walking away from that for the sake of entering into, like, a new partnership. That's just what I'm getting. The 2 of Cups doesn't always mean new, but that I'm feeling like a, not necessarily new, but like a more aligned, like, connection with, like, emotional connection, like, to something, like, that feels like symbiotic. That's what I'm getting for that column. And that takes a lot of strength, you know. Okay, the Queen of Wands. I'd like to get one more for that since we're doing the 2 cards per column thing. Just 1 card, please. Okay, you gave me 2, lol, so whatever. 7 of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so... And the Sun on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so with the 7 of Cups, it can either be kind of like curiosity and like looking forward to like maybe seeing what's out there, what's available. Yeah, a lot of cups, lol. Or it can be like at its worst, it can be kind of like confusion or emotional overwhelm. But then we got these queens here, that are, and especially the Queen of Cups, but it's almost like, I did mention like strength, and every time I see this Queen of Wands card in this deck, I think about the strength card on account of the fact that we got a lion right there. But definitely, this is definitely a week to, like, even though you might have, like, creative ambitions, that it's important to be gentle with yourself, is really what I'm getting. I'm going to see what's going on here, too. 8 of Wands and freaking 4 of Swords. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it might be there might be aspects to this week as, like, an underlying energy of kind of like a hurry up and wait, which could get a little bit exhausting. I don't think that that's necessarily bad, but I think that it's something that we might have to balance. All right, let me clarify column 1. Yeah, it's going to be an emotional week. I mean, with the full moon, that do be happening. Okay, Death card. Yeah, there might be some kind of like wish fulfillment level change when it comes to like mastering a craft, or like mastering some level of something is like coming to fruition in a way where I'm almost getting a feeling of like a graduation almost, or like a definitely a change, definitely stepping outside of a comfort zone, but something that's focused on building. What's going on with column 2? That resonates for me. Okay, more building with other people. That kind of lines up with this Two of Cups thing. What are we walking away from? Interesting. Okay. I'm kind of getting a vibe of like it, like like check yourself before you wreck yourself in conversation with people. Don't overshare this week. Like at work. Try to keep like I was talking earlier about like grounding, and like making sure that like that you feel secure in yourself. And what a lot of people do in order to feel secure is they will trauma dump on people, they will overshare with people, and then afterward, really, they'll just kind of feel guilty about that. And it's okay when people do that with me, because like I know like how to hold space for people, but not everybody is going to be able to do that for you. So just watch out for that. That's kind of what I'm seeing with that Ace of Swords coming out. Because in clarifying the Eight of Cups, which is, you know, deciding to like move on. It might also be something like, it might also be, on the positive side, it could be like proposing to somebody to start a project together. And kind of leaving behind maybe some feelings of apprehension regarding that. Just another perspective on that one. What's going on with our column 3? And then we're going to move on to a couple of Oracle decks and a Lenormand. And then I'll do my bibliomancy with the Rumi book. Oh, okay, here's the World card. More full moon vibes. What is this like, okay. Okay. All right. So I think some of you guys are going to be, I think you're going to be challenged to give up some kind of a long-held belief that's not serving you anymore, because maybe somebody is going to invite you to do something, or some opportunity is going to come up for you to enter into potentially business with someone, or potentially into a, like, for example, like go on a date with someone, or go see a friend that you haven't seen in a long time, something like that. And I think that this is kind of echoing this. So I think that it's a situation where we're battling apprehension, but look what's on the bottom of the deck. And with the sun on the bottom over on this side, I think that it's gonna, you know, it's gonna pay off in that emotional satisfaction, because you decided to take a leap of faith. And it's not so much even a leap of faith, it's more like a leap of, I'm getting that, like, you know how with the ego sometimes we have to be like, almost like a parent, like, hey, you know, it's gonna be okay, I understand that you're scared, but, you know, just take this one step, like, and I'll hold your hand and it'll be okay, let's go. You know? So I think that it might be something like that. I think that there's some fears of like money. Oh, awesome. I think there's some fears around like feeling a little bit like, oh, why is God punishing me? Why is this, Mercury retrograde annoying thing happening? Why, why did I forget my coffee this morning? Or like something like that, some little weird thing. I think that maybe there's a bit of a warning to not blow that out of proportion. And sometimes this card is not that little, but it's important to remember with the Five of Pentacles that like we have a choice to either see the world and our lives from a positive place of peace and security in ourselves, or from a place of, oh, everything's falling apart, I'm a victim. Like if you have a feeling of like, oh, everything's falling apart in this moment, is it really falling apart in this moment? Like Eckhart Tolle says, there can be no problems in this moment. Problems do not exist in the now, And then the King of Pentacles is hanging out down here. So this is a reminder, a gratitude reminder too, of the things that you do have available to you, the resources that you have available. And it could also be somebody giving you their grand support. Whenever there's a king out, I think about Dolo de Pilotman, aka Flight Boss. He says, whenever he's doing his flight tarot card readings, he says, whenever a king comes out, he goes, yeah, somebody's giving you their grand support. So that's what I think about that. All right, let's see about a bird. And then I have a really cool animal deck that I used last week. And then I'll do this, what do you call it? Lenormand. All right, what do I need to know for the week ahead? Okay. I'm not going to worry about the bottoms of the decks on the oracles. A new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. I pulled this card for somebody last night. So yeah, definitely this is like something positive and good is happening here. And I think I'm reminded of like the concept of like you can't get, the full like gamut, if you will, of the new positive thing in your life happening until excuse me, until shit, I lost my train of thought. Until you kind of let go of this like of what no longer serves you or whatever. I've been seeing that everywhere this week, like the very overused message of like let go of what no longer serves you. And you're left wondering, how do I do that? We also got the Falcon card, which is use your keen perception and skill in making decisions, do not delay. So that is kind of a message of like, this is a window of time in which we can make these changes to kind of like get this leveling up that I'm kind of sensing. But it's like, we're going to have to put in like some initiative. Okay. I feel like it's a pretty straightforward message. Okay, these cards are awesome. I showed them to you guys last week. This is a deck that I got a couple years ago. It's called the Animal Spirits Knowledge cards. It was only $13. But they're not so much like an oracle message as much as it's like a painting and then like a message on the back of what the animal is kind of about and like about the painting. But I really love these. And if you look really closely at these, there's kind of like there's details that like are kind of you could visualize like some of these details moving and flubbing around, basically. There's a lot of like subtle movement in the artwork, which I appreciate. Okay, what do we need to know for the week ahead? Okay, interesting, because this card was actually on the top. LOL. Okay. So this is the Seagull. Water, creation, and emotions. And we pulled 5 billion cup cards. So, the gull, a creature of the sea and sky, symbolically links the lower earthly world with the upper world of the spirit. Interesting, because I was kind of talking about, like, yo chakras. It's also a symbol of unrestrained emotion. Interesting. Okay. In a Northwest Native American legend, an angry gull kills a raven, one of the most powerful totems that had invaded the gull's beach. A great war between ravens and gulls for dominion of the beach ensues. In the end, the gull is subdued and the two birds share power over the shore. The seagulls couldn't beat the ravens. In the painting, the gull appears along with a nautilus mollusk and the image of Amphitrite, the ancient Greek sea goddess who governs the emotions. The gull, nautilus, and goddess are all associated with water, the primordial element of creation and life. Yeah, awesome artwork. So yeah, this is going to be an emotional week. But it's all kind of, I feel like our emotional state, and I was getting this last night too, like an overall message talking to several different people. I was like we're entering kind of a time period where our emotional state is like directly manifesting our reality. And I think a lot of different spiritual teachers have been kind of saying that, like, as we move into quote unquote the age of Aquarius, and like, quote unquote ascending, there's way more instantaneous, bringing things into creation depending on your like vibrational alignment with that thing. And I think that people are also just becoming more aware of that, and awareness is power, as we know. Okay. So, here's this Lenormand. Let's see, let's get kind of like I like to do 3 card pulls for Lenormand, and I just read it kind of like a sentence. And just maybe a specific situation that we can see what's going on for this week. Okay, somebody is maybe going to be having like an important conversation with their boss. Or let's get the 3rd card out before I say that. Some sort of the dog. Okay. Somebody might be getting accolades at work from their boss for doing a good job, or there might be a situation where you're going to have an opportunity to and it's going to feel like a faded thing, or like a it's on the bottom, the child. Maybe a situation that you haven't been involved with before. But the bear is a lot of times directly related to like your employer or like the owner of the company that you work at. Maybe like befriending, a level of befriending someone that's an authority figure, but something that feels like it was kind of like destined or meant to be this week. So, something new that you haven't done before. Which can be, that sounds like it could be a little bit of an emotionally, like, racking, if you will, sort of situation. But I think the most important thing to remember is that, like, because whenever I start talking to people who are, like, in a position of power over me, I kind of just, like, dissociate, and I'm like, But, yeah, I mean, that seems like it might be the challenge this week. Okay, let's do some bibliomancy on Rumi, and then I'll let you guys get on with your day. Love chose me among all others. It came rushing and brushed against my cheek. What grace! The alchemist reached out from the gold mine and touched my face. If I seem full of pride It is because of the breath he breathed into me. The jealous moon pulled a veil from the blue dome of the sky over my face. The wine kept flowing, but no cups were visible. The kisses kept coming, but there were no lips. By the light of the moon, the dark night became as bright as day. So, as with a lot of Rumi poems, this is really just like a beautiful devotional message of like ecstatic bliss, of just like being in the presence of like, you know, like a loving awareness, basically, to use a Ram Dass term, of like the essence of all beingness. Cups, yeah. Yeah, he does talk about cups a lot, because, you know, he talks about I don't know if you know much about Rumi, but he talks a lot about the wine flowing. If I seem full of pride, it is because of the breath he breathed into me. Yeah, so I think that there's a message of confidence there, for us. Is also it's like know that you are worthy because you exist. Because of the gift that has been given to you of your existence. It's your birthright to like be in the presence of whatever feels aligned to you. I'm getting that message for sure. Love chose me from among all others. It came. The alchemist reached out from the gold mine. Yeah, definitely like a lot of gratitude. And I think it's important that, like, since we're still in a Mercury retrograde, to remember that even be grateful for like the things that don't work out. I think that that's definitely part of the message. By the light of that moon, the dark night became as bright as day. Yeah. Visible. Okay. Yeah. And this last stanza is making me think of even if you can't visibly see the results of your effort, I feel like you will, though. Well, you emotionally will. But even if you can't like directly see like the physical manifestation of what you want at this time, yeah. I mean, I feel like I said it. It's gonna be more of an emotional reward. I think you're gonna feel like a rush of freaking serotonin and dopamine from the things that are really gonna be bringing you to, just being, really. And I also wanted to show this bookmark that I made in 2019. An important message that I learned from one of my OG spiritual teachers is to always have this mindset of like, you know what, life is about to get so good, and just go about your life being like, yeah, you know, I'm so like looking forward to how good things are about to be. You know, that gives you something to look forward to, and it immediately like just gives you like this positive aura about you, which is good in pretty much all situations. But I think that's all I have for you guys. Thanks, Luke, for coming to the live. And I will post this for the rest of my peeps to see throughout the day today, and this reading will be like valid for like the whole week, and this is technically kind of like a full moon reading too, so this is kind of the vibes that the full moon is going to be bringing. Just remember to like just slow down. I'm getting, and like watch like where your emotions are kind of pulling you, and then, you know, deal with them accordingly. Like if you start to feel overwhelmed, just break it down into like one step at a time, and remember food, water, sleep. That's where it all starts. That's where all like emotional stuff starts, is it comes from the body. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later, and, I don't have any like news or anything at this time, but I'll keep you posted, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And I'll see you on the next one. Adios.